Welcome to Answering Questions, where we seek to answer most asked questions about Africa based on a Google search. Let's dive in. So let's start with does. Does Africa have water? Why not? Africa has water. One of the greatest rivers on earth is in Africa, and the second largest lake in the world is in Africa. However, water is a complicated issue in Africa. Not that many people have access to clean water, though Africa has over 9% of the world's fresh water. Okay, next, does Africa get snow? Actually, yes. Apart from the highest places in Africa, it snows in southern parts of Africa. There is even a ski resort in Lesotho. Okay, let's look at one more question. Does Africa have provinces or states? Like any other country, all African countries have provinces and states. Now, I believe Africa probably has the most states in the world since it has the most countries. Algeria alone has 58 provinces. Okay, let's move to Is Africa... What? Okay, in 2021, someone is still asking if Africa is a country. Well, I guess people are being born every day, and inevitably somebody will be introduced to Africa. Africa is a land. No, Africa is not a country. Is African a language? Yeesh. Oh man. By the way, we have a video on what if all Africans spoke Swahili. Check that out on the top right or below. Anyways, no, African is not a language. Languages are so diverse in Africa that if you drove 3 hours away from one location, the language would be different from where you just left. Well, that was interesting. Let's check out Will Africa develop? While develop is a very subjective term, so this question cannot really be answered. However, all of Africa is developed. Some places are just not up to the Western standard of development. You have your urban areas and you have your rural areas, some intentional and some are just a circumstance of poor management. Now we move to why Africa is poor. Again, like development, poor is a subjective term. Africa is actually rich in natural minerals. It's rich in culture. There are over 20 billionaires in Africa. Some Africans are tipped to be global cities in the future, so Africa is not poor. Yes, there are many poor people in Africa, however, Africa is not poor. Poor leadership is the number one reason that makes Africa look like it's behind. We as Africans cannot blame slavery or colonization anymore. It is time to use what we have to command the attention of the world. Hopefully, the future leaders of Africa will change things because many of those in power are really doing a bad job right now. But again, that is not all, but many. Why African babies don't cry? Like, I don't know if this is a serious question or am I reading the question wrong. Wait, let me try again. Why African babies don't cry? Still can't answer that one. Now we move to what African countries speak French? Well, a lot of African countries speak French, and I even think that half of the African countries actually speak French, but that is basically due to colonization. What do African wild dogs eat? Well, they're carnivores, so yeah. What African countries are safe to visit? Almost all African countries are actually safe to visit. If you have a good common sense on how, when, and where to move in any African country, you will be fine. But be careful if you plan to visit Libya, Central African Republic, Somalia, South Sudan, and even Mali. Know where the no-go zones are, and you should be fine in even those countries as well. We move to when Africa got independence. Africa has been independent since the beginning of time. People just came to bother it. Which African country was never colonized? Well, that's easy. Ethiopia and Liberia. Liberia, it's because it was viewed as an American colony, so no European nation tried to bother them. And Ethiopia really was conquered by, I think it was Italy, but Italy was never really able to take over and never able to colonize the space. So Ethiopia and Liberia were the two nations, African nations, that were never colonized. Ethiopia is old, like biblically old. Okay, last one. Let's try. Who was Africa named after? That's a good question that nobody has the answer to. Maybe we should actually make a video on that and try to figure that out. Anyways, thanks for sitting through this video. Share this with a friend that wants to know more about Africa and drop any comment because we read them all actually. Subscribe if you like this content as it's free to do so. Till then, brothers and sisters, have an awesome day.